Kate Winslet has opened up about the special, thoughtful, almost intimate method she used to direct Helen Mirren in her directorial debut Goodbye June. The film is emotionally heavy, with Mirren playing a mother whose health is declining, and Winslet knew that to get the performances she needed, honesty, vulnerability, truth, she had to abandon typical film set rigidity and trust instead. The News International +2 Helen Mirren +2. Goodbye June was written by Winslet's son Joe Anders, based on real loss the family experienced, and stars a strong ensemble including Mirren, Toni Collette, Andrea Riseborough, and others. Helen Mirren +2 Malay male +2 because Mirren, one of the most respected actresses of her generation, had very little time, just 16 days, on the 35-day shooting schedule. Winslet knew there was no room for waste. GeoNews +1. Instead of relying on conventional direction, heavy guidance, constant supervision, repeated takes, Winslet opted for subtlety. She asked her crew to set up everything: lights, sound, cameras, then press record and quietly leave the room. The actors, including Mirren, would be left alone, free to inhabit the scene on their own, without the pressure of onlookers. This technique created a rare environment: intimate, private, real. Winslet believed such space and silence would allow authentic emotions to surface. The News International +1. Her reasoning was simple but bold. With legendary actors like Mirren and Timothy Spall involved, she didn't need to teach anything, they knew their craft. What mattered more was trust, respect, and space. She refused to attempt any clever tricks why shit, as she put it. Instead she leaned on empathy and faith in her cast. The News International +1. One scene in particular demonstrates the power of this approach. In a bathroom with Mirren in a tub and Collette beside her, the two actors spent 20 minutes alone with the cameras rolling, no director watching them, no looming crew, just them. The result: raw, unfiltered emotion that Winslet described as quiet and small and intimate, a realism that no traditional direction could replicate. The News International +1. Her decision to do this wasn't just practical, it was deeply personal. The story behind Goodbye June is rooted in loss. Joe Anders wrote the script after the death of his grandmother, Winslet's mother, an experience that left a permanent mark on the family. For Winslet, directing this project wasn't just a career move. It was a tribute, a catharsis, and a way to channel real grief and real emotions into art. Helen Mirren +2 The News International +2. The trust-first atmosphere began long before cameras rolled. Winslet spent an intense week rehearsing with her ensemble cast, not just in a studio but around her kitchen table, cooking meals, sharing stories. That informal, human connection laid the foundation for vulnerability, empathy, and openness. This created a sort of security blanket among the actors and crew, a safe space rooted in mutual respect and discretion. Helen Mirren +1. For children on the set, Winslet applied a different kind of care, closer to motherhood than direction. She encouraged them to stay loose, to not worry about line learning, to make mistakes, giving them the psychological freedom to be authentic rather than performative. That nurturing instinct, born from real parenting experience, helped the younger actors deliver organic, lived-in performances that matched the emotional tone of the movie. GeoNews +1. But the constraints were real. With such a tight, lean budget and schedule, no overtime, no room for bloated reshoots, Winslet had to be precise, efficient, yet emotionally generous. She and her assistant director calculated exactly how much time they had for each day with Mirren, and how much they could afford to rely on spontaneity. "You just get ready, you run at it, and you are just as prepared as possible," she said, a challenge to balance realism and pragmatism. GeoNews +2 Malay male +2. What emerges from her approach is a model of collaborative filmmaking rooted in trust, humanity, and respect, especially important in a film about mortality, grief, and complicated family dynamics. With Goodbye June, Winslet didn't want control. She wanted space. Space for the actors to feel, to breathe, to react genuinely to each other. And by stepping away literally, she created that space. The News International +1. It's also worth noting how brave and rare this method is. Traditionally, directors orchestrate scenes like conductors, guiding, shaping, adjusting. Winslet's decision to step back, trust her actors, and allow their instincts to govern the moment reveals a humility and confidence both in the material and in the cast. In Hollywood's often hectic, high-pressure environment, giving actors the freedom to be vulnerable is an act of faith. Yahoo +2 The News International +2. For Mirren, who initially had reservations, she's spoken before about rules. She doesn't want to portray characters with cancer or dementia. But after reading the script she felt compelled to join. she broke her own rule. That trust in Winslet and in the material speaks volumes about both the actor and the director, and about how deeply the story resonated. Female first +2 Helen Mirren +2. In many ways, Goodbye June isn't just a film for Winslet, it's a statement. About grief, about family, about honesty. But also about what kind of filmmaking she believes in. Intimate, human, raw. She's not chasing spectacle, she's chasing realness. She's showing that sometimes the best direction is no direction at all. Just trust, space, respect and faith in people's truth. Her method points to something important. Great acting doesn't always need grand direction or heavy-handed control. Sometimes it needs silence, space, and permission to simply exist in the moment. Winslet recognized that for veterans like Mirren, or for talented newcomers, the best environment isn't one of pressure, but one of safety, empathy, and trust. As Goodbye June prepares to hit cinemas and streaming platforms, that behind-the-scenes truth becomes part of its story. Viewers might come for the performances, the cast, the emotional depth of the screenplay. But they'll also be watching the result of an unusual directorial philosophy. One built on letting go, on faith, on a kind of quiet confidence that real stories don't require loud direction, just honest people. In a world of big-budget blockbusters and spectacle, Winslet's debut stands out not for its gloss, but for its guts. Because real life, grief, love, endings, doesn't need effects. It needs truth. And by believing in truth, by trusting the people around her, Kate Winslet may have made Goodbye June more than just a movie. She may have made a quiet masterclass in compassion, trust, and the power of allowing art to breathe.